Big changes are coming to real estate and real estate commissions. Hi, I'm Vinicius Brazil with the Brazil Group and Keller Williams. I've been selling real estate here in Santa Clara and the surrounding area for over 20 years, and this is the biggest development that's happened in real estate. You may not be aware, but in late October 2024, a ruling was made in a court case which challenged long-standing practices surrounding real estate commissions. It argued that the National Association of Realtors and major real estate companies had been engaging in unfair and anti-competitive practices, specifically regarding buyer agent commissions. Ultimately, the court ruled that certain practices were indeed restrictive and mandated significant changes. The ruling emphasized transparency and competition, altering how commissions are negotiated and disclosed. Although this decision is on appeal, it marked a turning point and will reshape the real estate industry as we know it. Typically, a homeowner seeking to sell their property would contact one or more listing agents to discuss selling their property. An important factor in the discussion would be the commission charge. Agents would charge a commission, typically a percentage of the sale price of the home. As a part of that commission, a percentage would be offered to the buyer agents who would be representing the buyer on the transaction. In the listing agreement between the agent and the seller, the portion of the commission offered to the buyer had to be specified, and typically in that market, that commission had overwhelmingly been 2.5%. In fact, many multiple listing services, the databases that are controlled by real estate associations and provide the listing details for homes, require that a commission be specified in order for that property to be listed. Once specified on the MLS, the buyer's agent commission remained the same even if the buyer independently found the home, attended the open house without an agent, and did all the work, only contacting the buyer's agent for assistance with the paperwork. Also, that commission was prevented from being changed or negotiated after the offer was submitted. As home values doubled and tripled in the last 20 years, this commission rate remained relatively unchanged. In some cases, buyers and their agents had entered into separate agreements where the agent had agreed to rebate a portion of the commission back to the buyer. Also, some brokerages with business plans that offered to rebate a portion of their buyer commission to their buyers for their services. But for the most part, 2.5% buyer agent commission was prevalent on most listings. In recent years, with the advent of Zillow and other popular real estate websites, buyers, especially those in the Silicon Valley, have taken on many of the tasks traditionally associated with buyer's agents. These buyers often sift through properties online, attend open houses unaccompanied by their agents, review inspection reports, and determine the price they want to offer, doing all this work on their own, only engaging with the agent to submit an offer on their behalf. Also, with the sharp increase in local property values, many sellers have increasingly felt that the commission paid to buyer's agents are too high, inflating the sales costs for sellers and ultimately resulting in higher home prices for buyers. As a result, buyers are forced to pay due to inflated prices for services they may not need or even want. This is ultimately the reason the court ruled against the real estate industry. They believed the system was working to keep these commissions artificially high despite the market forces that would be driving them downward, resulting in high costs at the expense of consumers and stifling competition. In response to the ruling, the National Association of Realtors, the real estate governing body, initiated immediate changes. NAR, along with other key players, revised their policies to align with the court's directives. This included more transparent commission structures and greater flexibility in negotiations of commissions. They provided specific guidance to agents that they should tell their clients that the commissions are always negotiable and can now be as low as 0 for the buyer's agent commission. Policies on MLSs have changed, allowing as little as 0 buyer agent commission on MLS listings, removing the old requirement that all MLS listings needed to offer buyer agent compensation. Buyers now have more transparency in buyer agent commissions. Some sites like Redfin have been actively publishing the buyer agent compensation, making buyers more empowered to negotiate the amount of commission a buyer agent can receive. How will these changes affect the real estate industry, sellers, buyers, as well as home values? I believe the ripple effects of this ruling on real estate industry are significant. We're witnessing a shift towards more transparency, competitive pricing, and eventually lower commissions. This is likely to lead in increased competition among real estate firms and agents, more innovation, and differentiated real estate services to buyers and sellers. Real estate agents are directly impacted by this ruling. The changes in commission structures mean agents may need to adapt their business models. While some may see a decrease in earnings, others might benefit from increased transaction volumes due to more flexible pricing or models that appeal to sellers or their specific markets. Agents will need to focus on differentiation and value-added services to thrive in this new environment. Some agents will argue that without a substantial commission offered on a listing, there will not be a motivation to show that property. This is contrary to NAR's policies, which require that buyer's agents have an ethical duty to show homes they believe their clients would be interested in, regardless of the commission offered. The question here is not whether a commission will be offered, but whether a seller must offer a 2.5% commission to a buyer's agent without consideration for the value of their home, the market, or the services rendered. In other words, is it unlikely that a seller offering a 1 or 1.5% commission to a buyer on a $2 million home would expect that their home not be shown because the compensation would not be considered substantial enough to that buyer's agent? Well, that would depend on the agents and their expectations. Some experienced agents may feel that due to their professional background, a degree that they hold, their experience, and the level of services they provide, and the time expended warrant a certain level of compensation. These agents may provide extensive knowledge about areas, neighborhoods, construction, financing, information that could be valuable to buyers and could warrant a higher level of compensation. For this level of service, buyers may enter into separate compensation agreements via a buyer representation agreement with their agents to ensure that they're properly compensated for the services rendered. In the end, the level of compensation a buyer's agent will receive will be more market-driven, based on the level of services and the value they provide to their clients. In this new environment, buyers will be free to choose their agents and the level of service they need, and pay for those services. This will allow some buyers who feel they do not need the expertise of an agent to make offers on their own. A buyer who values their agent and the services offered can enter into an agreement where they will compensate their agent separately if the commission offered by the sellers is inadequate. If a buyer is compensating their agent separately, it'll likely be reflected in their offer price, so there will be no inflating of the home value for costs of unused or unwanted services. This could result in lower home prices for sellers and a more efficient market where buyers can select the agent and services they need and pay for those services individually. For sellers, the ruling will lead to more negotiation power regarding agent commissions and potentially lower selling costs. Sellers, along with their listing agents, will have the ability to decide, based on their property, the dynamics of the market, as well as local home values, what they feel is a substantial commission or compensation to offer a buyer agent, if any. There's a possibility that sellers may receive lower offers and experience reduced sale prices due to diminished incentives for high compensation. How that will compare with the savings from lower commissions is hard to factor and will likely vary from property to property. In the short term, sellers will also need to navigate this challenging landscape where agent roles and services will be evolving as the market adjusts to the new rules and expectations. The impact on home values is hard to assess. As the compensation of buyers' agents gets shifted over to buyers, this will likely affect the price buyers may be willing to offer on a home. Also, if the buyer is compensating their agent tens of thousands of dollars, I would expect that to be reflected in the offer they make to the sellers. Conversely, buyers who may opt to represent themselves or engage in the services of other agents who will provide limited services for a flat fee or reduced commissions may not be affected. Some of these buyers may have been anticipating rebates from their agents anyway, and with the reduced commissions, these rebates will not be necessary. And slightly reduced costs and sale prices may end up being a wash for sellers. The seller will benefit from less fees which are associated with the sales costs, such as transfer taxes and title insurance, but this won't be a huge savings. Although hard to assess the impact on home values, it could be logical to expect that prices would not be as high under the new system. So it's hard to say if these changes will make sellers better off or not. Ultimately, we should keep in mind that these changes are not designed to help home sellers or home values, but to foster a more competitive and fair market for all parties involved. With the advent of the internet, the way we shop for homes has changed, but commissions have not followed suit until now. As we've seen, the result of this lawsuit will mark a new chapter in real estate. Its impact on commissions, the industry practices, agents, and sellers is profound and will be ongoing. Here at the Brazil Group, I've always been concerned about the costs sellers incur when selling their home. My philosophy and policy regarding commissions has always been transparent with my clients, and I've always provided some of the most competitive listing commissions for the services we render. What this ruling will allow us to do is continue to offer the same great value and complimentary services to our clients, while allowing our seller clients the flexibility to decide the amount of compensation they want to offer the buyer's agent. In light of this new era, I've developed a new commission model based on a total 3% commission that I feel adequately motivates and compensates buyer's agents. Of course, this 3% model is dynamic, allowing for changes and the specific needs of our clients and their properties. For more specific, you can view our video, List for 3%. The link will be provided down below. As our industry changes, we're committed to providing the highest level of service for our clients. I'm confident with my years of experience and familiarity with the local market, this new model will be successful for our listing clients, providing them with the same great results and netting them a higher return on their sale. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, this is Vinicius Brazil with the Brazil Group and Keller Williams.